It was never about clean air. It was all about dirty money. Indeed. Let's get into it. A new study has just blown the lid off the ULEZ scam, because that's what it is, showing that it made no measurable impact on air quality in London after its massive expansion. So if you're not from the UK and you don't know what ULEZ is, it stands for Ultra Low Emissions Zone. I've covered it a few times on the channel before, and I said from day one it was a massive scam, and I did a big investigation into the money and how it just sort of disappeared somehow into the Mayor of London's fund, and even with a Freedom of Information Act request, they would not release the information on where exactly that money went. So you got to think, all that money, all that pain for drivers, and there was no real benefit. I'll show you the study in a moment. So it was never really about clean air, as I said when it was first introduced. It was all about control and all about profit, and that was it. So what did they say? They told us that ULEZ would clean up London's air, and this was a plan to be rolled out right across the country, which they have in some regards now. But the numbers actually say otherwise. It says pollution barely moved. The cash kept rolling in though. Sadiq Khan was making a fortune on all of this. So people that couldn't afford the charges in the first place were hit with massive charges every single day. Small businesses were crushed. Some of them went bankrupt. And for what? For nothing, in effect. So it says then that his Sadiq Khan's controversial experiment in London has failed. It cost the taxpayer £155 million, even though it wasn't. They've raked in. I'll tell you how much they've raked in. Actually, I've got the figures here. Now, sometimes they will release it on these Freedom of Information requests. Okay, so we won't tell you all the Dear Mr. Ward, etc. From its launch in April 2019 up until mid-2023, ULEZ had generated approximately £500 million in charges and penalties. And then, because I asked for different breakdowns, so April 2019 up to June 2024, they had amassed £875 million in income. For the year 2023 to 2024, the income rose to basically £260 million. That was up from £190 million the year before. And thank you for your FOI request. From the expansion date, 29th of August 2023 to 22nd of February 2024, gross income from charges alone was £106.8 million. They wouldn't release figures on exactly where the money went, because I had a lot of detailed questions on that. They wouldn't release those figures, and it's somewhere though, they've raised somewhere in the region of £900 million to £1 billion. That is my best sort of calculation from all the figures that I have got here. It is staggering. I want to go over this report then. So this was done by scientists at the University of Birmingham, who say the expansion of ULEZ in August 2023 had no significant impact on lowering air pollution. In addition, London still faces air pollution levels well above international health-based guidelines, according to the experts. Campaigners are now calling for ULEZ to be scrapped altogether, as it is saddling Londoners with mountains of debt. Do you really think that's going to happen? Drop it in the comments. I doubt it very much. This is just further evidence that the ULEZ expansion was about raising money rather than improving air quality, said the Transport and Environment spokesperson for City Hall. This is exactly what TfL's own modelling showed, but yet again, Sadiq Khan is ignoring the evidence when it doesn't suit his agenda. So we've got a visual here. Let me just pull this up for you so you can see this visual. So this was the original zone then, when they said that this was all it was going to be, this central London zone. Then they expanded it. Then they did this massive area, which basically is the whole of Greater London. It's everywhere. This is Essex, this is Hertfordshire, here's your Surrey, here's your Kent. They just expanded it to basically everybody got hit with this now. And I want to go over some more of the data here. So I think we've covered before, £12.50 per day. This was introduced in April 2019. What I found absolutely baffling, right? So they use this network of cameras that they installed. So they take a photograph of the vehicle's license plate, and then it searches the database to check if you are legally compliant. The irony of that word, legally compliant. And then they'll issue you with a fine. I looked at this poll and I voted on it, of course. Do you support keeping or scrapping the ULEZ? I clicked scrapping. Who's unsure? Who are the 1% of people? These are the people that it doesn't matter what it is, they're always unsure. Keeping it, 4% said they want to keep it. Who are these 4%? Somebody find these people. They are nuts. It means then ULEZ now applies to all 32 London boroughs. It covers an area of 1,500 square kilometres, 580 square miles, and impacts 9 million people. The University of Birmingham study focused on the two main ones, NO2 and PM2.5, which, we won't go into all the science behind that. The team studied air quality data captured hourly at 124 sites, and I love the fact that they're specific on this, and they really did the research, because Siddiqui Khan came out right away and said, this is a conspiracy, this is not true, who has this been peer verified, I don't believe any of it. Our studies say, yeah, of course your studies say, you're making hundreds of millions, if not a billion, at this point. And they've got all the data here. You can actually look this study up if you would like to, but they've got all the data points. You can see everything on there. It was very, very detailed study that they actually did then. So what did they find? There was no significant impact detected on NO2 or NOx levels following the ULEZ expansion in August of 2023. What's more, PM2.5 pollution across the whole of London has not significantly fallen over the entire period. Another study, Professor Zongo Shi, admits that the ULEZ expansion had limited effect on London air quality throughout. He said this was because London drivers by that point had already largely switched to eco-friendly vehicles and newer petrol and diesel cars. So again, we can go into all of this, but that is the main thing. Now, they actually did me a big favour though, I gotta say, a huge favour to me, because I was able to get almost a brand new diesel car for ridiculously cheap. I mean, I think it came, well, it doesn't matter the prices, but what the guy paid for it a year before, I paid like 30% of the price, because he was in London and he said, this is just crazy, it's costing me a fortune to run this diesel. So I was very happy anyway, I've got to say. Now, the other things we've got to talk about, this is insane what we're seeing, okay? I don't know if you see the sort of things that I see, but this was what I saw today. So wood burners, okay, I know it's on Google News, wood burners linked to deaths, look at all this, wood burners, deaths, it was just non-stop all day long. And I thought, what's going on here? So I went on to Google, and it's just crazy. The hidden costs of wood-burning stoves. Wood burners linked to 2,500 deaths. It's costing the NHS 54 million a year. It was going on and on. Climate this, climate that. Can wood burners cause health problems? Look at all the searches now. It is insane what is going on here. Oh, by the way, real quick, in terms of all this money that they're making, all these scandals that they are, it's just money. They're focused, all this green stuff now, all on money. That is their focus. That's really all this is. It's just money. They're not interested really in health. And the easy way to prove that, you look at the PM2.5, and you know what? I actually forgot my reader. I got a reader at home. It's not one of these super high-tech ones. It costs a few £100s. And it measures PM2.5 because I bought it for last year's London trip. I bought it to take around because I wanted to show everyone that it's nonsense, the PM2.5 levels. because you do it above ground. If you've got one of these readers, you can make the video. Because again, I forgot the device. I couldn't believe it, but I did have a million things to remember. So you go in the London Underground and you turn that on, and you will see it is like it goes off the chart. It doesn't even, you can't even read it on some devices. It's so high compared to above ground anywhere in London. So it's nothing to do with what they are saying. It really isn't. I mean, if you want to make some money, do this. Just you go onto my monthly community, the Patreon. I'll help you to make money. In a circle, you get custom stock picks. You get 3 stock picks every month. You get my monthly investment video. I'll show you my investment spreadsheet, all the things I'm investing in. It's an hour long. I do this every month. That's how you actually legally, ethically make some money. For any of you who want that, that's in the description. But I opened up one of these articles then, and I want to go over one of these articles here on wood burners. This just came out a few hours ago, and it says that wood burners has been linked to 2,500 deaths a year in the UK. It is toxic. Wood burners have been classed as toxic. The government and NHS are coming up with a plan to deal with them. And this is so bizarre, because I was just talking to someone last week who has a wood burner business, and I said, I was worried about you recently when the government came out with all this stuff, and he said, yeah, me too. I said, well, it looks like we're in the clear now. Nope, they are going after them again. Luckily, I've already installed my 6 wood burners at the castle, so I'm not going to be there. I'm not uninstalling them. I've got mine now, and they will last me forever. So yeah, get in and get your wood burners beforehand. So they said it contributes to 2,500 deaths a year, and £54 million a year for the NHS. Of course, it's a government survey. If you do an independent one, then they say it's not green okay. They're saying it's not green energy. It's not part of the renewable project, and it's not clean. Number one, and again, I get some people don't burn the right things in wood burners, okay? And I know some people have asthma, and some people have wood burners where they probably shouldn't have them, where you're in a really busy terrace street and it's like, how can I describe this? Where I lived before, there was like, the way the wind blew, I would get smoke into my house, and I didn't really like it, but I haven't got asthma, so it didn't really affect me. But I get it, if there's kids or people with asthma, it can affect them. So I'm just talking from a general perspective here, okay? I just want to let you know, I do have compassion, obviously, for people who are affected by it in that way. But I want to give you a general overview here and really point you towards what I'm seeing, which is they're using this to try and get rid of what is a renewable source of energy. Wood is grown. You cut it down. I know we took down 7 trees last year, and we've cut them all up, and we've chopped them up, and we've dried out the wood, right? It is renewable. We planted new trees. These trees we took down had to come down anyway. Some of them had rot, or they were dangerous. They were overhanging the road, etc. In fact, one of them fell down on my road. So it only affected me coming in and out. But, 6 o'clock in the morning with a chainsaw. It was, I probably shouldn't have done that, actually. I won't do that again. I'll leave it to the caretaker next time. But, here's me with a chainsaw. I've got to get out. I don't want to wait for this tree. Anyway, I'll go off on a tangent here otherwise. But what is it? It's clean. You plant more trees, you grow it, you dry the wood out, you burn it. It's super clean. And they're saying that it's not clean, it's not renewable. It's a lie. It's blatant lies. They said, this is from someone, Larissa Lockwood, from the charity Global Action Plan. She said, we all need to stay warm this winter, but open fire wood burning is the most polluting way to heat a home. She commissioned an analysis that showed that air pollution from wood burning stoves is killing people, and the health burden on the British public is too big to ignore. Action must be taken now. She said the government needs to strengthen the powers of local authorities. With needs to be fines and more things. Basically, people need to be dealt with. They say it costs £800 a year per person for the damage caused by wood. This is nonsense. Where is the data? I look for the study, I look for the data, there's nothing there. It's nonsense, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, this £800 figure. About 95% of indoor wood burners in the UK are fueled by wood, and most small particle pollution comes from wood burning. It is killing people every year. This just goes on and on and on. But you know what I thought was really interesting about all of these things? Right? Do you remember what happened during New Year's Eve and things like that? They said, oh, all the firework displays are cancelled, and November cancelled for climate. Well, did you see what's just happened? And again, this was Diwali for, you know, I have nothing against each religious group celebrating their annual festival. I just want to be clear on that. My point is, they did the firework displays that were going on across London were staggering. I haven't got the clip, but a guy had a PM 2.5 monitor and it went to 999. It wouldn't go any further. And it's like, how long is that going to linger around for? Again, I have nothing against it. I love firework displays. I do. But why can one group have firework displays, but the others can't? Again, this was another one. This came out again yesterday, this story. No prosecutions made after 15,000 wood burning complaints in a year. So now the whole thing's about how they're going to start taking further action, serious action on people. Heat pumps are still expensive though for the third of homeowners. This was another one came out yesterday. It tells you when all this is going on and it's just non-stop stories, it tells you something. It tells you that there is an agenda going on, that they're pushing quite hard. And because it's not a coincidence, why is it that the entire feed was full of these stories? And there's, in 2 days, it's just all of these different stories. I haven't seen stories like this for a long time. But now all of a sudden, it's just all over the place. They're everywhere, these stories. It's, let me know what you think in the comments below anyway. Are you subscribed to the channel? Also, if not, you might want to subscribe. I bring you good videos like this all the time. And definitely check out the Patreon that I mentioned. The link is below. Yeah, I'm going to be filming tomorrow all day and all day Saturday around London. So if you're about, it is me. If you see me saying, is that Neil filming there? Yes, it probably is. Come over, say hello. I'll be here for a couple of days and then I'm heading off to Thailand. So set up the studio there. All right. Take care. God bless, guys. See you on the next one.